Now, I don't need to explain why we're here. Who wants to begin? Hola, ¿cómo estás?
Sorry to bother you. Does a woman named Rachel live here?
I think you've got the wrong address, son. I run a pawn shop, not a storage company. Do you want it or not?
You said it was junk.
It's your junk. You want it. 500, take it or leave it. Trial by combat to the death. This is not the fault of these men nor I. This is all Brother Xavier's doing. You're the most ignorant fool I've been displeased to ever know. Yes, they called you the Bizarro King. Don't let this fear hold you back. Ooh, these are delicious. Who made these? Yeah, boy.
Hey everybody, this is Terrah Bennette Smith for Soul TV, and I am so excited today because I'm talking to an old dear, not old in age, but old in years of experience, friend of mine named Carl Gilliard. Now, when I talk to you about someone has done so many things in this industry and is kicking booty right now on project after project, we're actually catching him in his hotel room up in Fishkill, New York, on the set of a movie where he's working that's going to be coming out probably the end of the year. But anyway, no further ado, let's welcome Carl Gilliard to Soul TV.
Yes. Hey, Terrah. You know, I hear you do the introduction, and you know, I thought about the fact that you might be one of the original people that I met when I started doing television. Remember, you used to work with the agency?
Right. Tasmore, was it Tasmore Group?
Tasmore. Yes.
Yeah. And see,
yeah,
I
and
don't even remember any of that. But
Yeah.
anyway, with that said, so, okay, you came out to LA from where?
I'm from Chicago, but I moved to Detroit when I was 12. And then I went to Michigan State, came out of Michigan State, went to work in Rochester, New York for a while, and then back to Detroit. Then I went to Grand Rapids, Michigan. Then I went to Kalamazoo, where I started doing theater. And that's kind of what led me to LA after a couple of years of doing plays in Kalamazoo at their Civic Theater.
What you remember about when you first got your first television or film role that you said, holy crap, I'm actually doing this?
Mm-hmm.
Remember that?
It was, I booked a job on Hunter in 1990, and I booked it in such a just weird way. I went to this casting director workshop back in the day. You know, you go to do these workshops, you pay $25, you meet the casting director. And so the lady's name was Susan Scudder, and she was the casting director for Hunter, and she put us all on the stage. And so she gave us sides, and so I'm reading these sides with her, and I read the sides with her, and I didn't, man, Terrah, I was so green. I didn't know what the hell I was doing. I mean that. I read the sides. She says, "Oh, that's wonderful." I said, "Can you come into the office in the morning?" I said, "Yeah, sure." So I go over there to Stephen Cannell on Hollywood Boulevard the next morning, and I go to her office, and I read these sides again. I'm reading, really. I don't know what the hell I'm doing. She says, "Wonderful. Can you come to a callback today at 5 o'clock?" Sure. So I go to this callback, and I go up in Susan's, in the Stephen Cannell building, and I'm upstairs, and there's 4 or 5 other guys there. And I walk in, and I do and I did not know what I was doing. I'm telling you, Terrah. I go in, I read the thing, I walk out, turn the corner, and within like maybe a half hour, I get a call. And no, I called an agent. I didn't even have an agent, but I knew an agent. I called him. I said, "Look, if you hear from these people," because I gave them the name, "please let me know." So I get a call, and I booked this job. And it was a co-star, but it was a big co-star, because there were people who were guest stars in the show who didn't have as much as me to do. So I remember going in and doing this job and not knowing what the hell I was doing. It just happened literally from the workshop was on a day. So let's say it was a Wednesday. So the workshop was on Wednesday. This job was the next day, that evening.
Wow.
It literally happened just like that.
Yeah, wow.
And that was my first job on television, where I actually had a speaking role. I'm working with a lead in the show. And it was just, I was so scared. I was scared, Terrah.
Scared, but you were excited, but scared.
I was excited, but I didn't know what I was doing. And to this day, I mean, that 100 episode is still running, wherever. I still get like little checks for like, $3. And yeah, and it's still out there. I've seen it, and it's just crazy because I wasn't that bad in it, but I wasn't that good either.
Yeah, that's like my first pilot.
So yeah, but it's like, you talk about, reinvention and all of that. I mean, when we are creators and we love what we do, we just kind of rise to the occasion. And then when things don't work out quite like we thought, either it's a bad job or, we don't do the work we think we could have done as well as we could have done it, we learn from that experience, we dust ourselves off, and we just come back. You just keep doing that, and before you know it, you are in a certain place.
So tell us, what's going on in Atlanta with you?
Well, that kind of spun out of the strike happening and transitioning and just trying to figure out a way to navigate the new waters. And my wife, who's always trying to find a way to put me to work, which is okay because she does it in areas where I should be doing it anyway. So it was really her idea. And I've, like you, Terrah, I've been coaching and consulting just kind of, under the table or just as a gift for years. So it was her idea to turn it into something else. And that's how the class came to be. We'd only been there 2 months. And we just put the call out kind of on social media, hey, we're in Atlanta, Carl Gilliard, I'm doing this thing. And I had this Facebook group already called Carl Gilliard's Actors Intensive, which goes back years because I had the LA class for a while. I just kept that same group. So I kind of marketed it that way through social media and picked up about maybe 7 or 8 students right away. And it's been really a blessing. The other thing about this, I know you can identify with this, Terrah, was that teaching that class has helped my confidence in ways that I didn't even anticipate. When I go on sets now, when I audition, I'm just a lot better. I'm a lot confident, and it's just my stature's different. But the thing that really kicked that off was when I did my own show.
And that's what we're about to talk about.
Right, exactly, right.
Why don't you come back next week and sign up for the open mic night and then write yourself a set and then pick your ass up on stage and make people laugh? Huh? Try that.
A sweet man I've been getting to know. He's out there somewhere. Oh, Carl Gilliard.
Oh no!
Explain what? How you're on 2 dates tonight? How you're buying other women drinks while you're here with me? Why you're crawling around on the floor like a damn idiot?
I'm single again. As you know, I'm divorced. I'm single in my 60s. Where the white women at? Single in my 60s. Ain't that up?
2 degrees. Let's talk about it.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about, the concept, how you came up with it, and some of the highlights of it for you.
Well, 2 degrees came about the initial idea, which my wife again pushed me to do because I talked about this. It was a brother by the name of Charles Reese. Do you know Charles Reese?
I know the name.
Charles Reese he's a mainstay in LA theater. Great guy. You've seen him around. And I've known him for years. And I was at the Pan African Film Festival one time. And we were at this restaurant or something. Southern Girl Desserts. That's where we were. Shanichi's place.
Oh my God, I was just there. Whose place is it?
Yeah. So we were in there. And so I'm talking to Charles, and somebody walks in, and they say, "Hey, Carl." I said, "Hey, what's up?" Blah, 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 blah. They walk away. So me and Charles are talking again. Somebody else walks in. "Hey, Carl." And so then he looks at me and says, "You know everybody. 2 degrees of Carl Gilliard," something like that. I said, "Huh, 2 degrees." I just said, "Okay." I just kind of thought about putting it back in my mind. And so then when I just started kicking around this idea of doing this show, that kind of, riffed off of me knowing everybody and me being this famous person in Hollywood, but I wasn't really famous. So that was kind of the riff on it. And then, of course, when I went through, my second marriage, I had this whole thing with, all of the way I handled my second divorce. So I weaved that into my neuroses of the character and made it about nothing really, but all of these people, and see, everybody plays themselves.
Right.
It's like it just kind of ripped off of that, and it just kind of went.
Now, Carl, what is going on? You are running from project to project. Tell us, can you talk about what you're doing out there now?
I can talk a little bit about it because it is on IMDb. So, I guess I can just in general say that I'm doing this Christmas movie for BET called Christmas Queens.
Mm-hmm.
I guess it's coming out this Christmas, and Kenny Young, who is my friend and the director and co-writer of the project, and it's got some cool people in it, Vanessa Bell Calloway and Essence Atkins and Terry J. Vaughn are the Christmas Queens. And I won't disclose why they're called that. I'll let that hang until the show comes on, but that is the name of the film.
Okay, but you're also on Family Business, right?
Oh, yeah, that's right. I got my T-shirt on.
Who do you play?
I play Brother Minister.
Uh-huh.
Brother Minister. I've done 25 episodes.
Take your time. Think about it. LC would lose his mind if I went to work for you.
Be concerned about LC, nor should you. LC's loss is our gain. But if you're concerned about LC, I'll go and talk to him in person to smooth this thing out.
No.
That show.
Wow.
So much fun. That show is so much fun to be on.
Wow.
And you know what? I don't think that it'd be a problem to share this, but I didn't audition for this.
So how did it happen?
The producer, Nakia and Lee Brown Jones, and Trey Haley are old friends. Speaking of me knowing anybody, they're like long-standing friends. And they hired me, no audition for this, The Man in 3B. That was the first time they hired me. And then when they called me to do this role, I didn't realize, because they didn't tell me. I didn't realize what the role was. I'm thinking, come and do the day on this thing. I get there and it's just like a bunch of stuff. So I go in there and do one episode. I'm thinking I'm done. Another episode. That just kept going. So I guess I am a recurring on this thing. But I had no idea going in what it was. And then Carl Weber, who is the showrunner and creator, he's a frat brother. He's an alpha. So he's writing for me. He's like, he's creating stuff for me to do. And even this last season, when I moved to Atlanta, I thought that I might be done. This is right before the strike. So they had started the first 4 episodes, and I was barely in one episode. I thought I was going to be done. And then over the strike, he starts thinking. He calls me and says, "Hey, Carl, I got a bunch of stuff for you. Stand by." So when the strike was over, all this other new stuff came in. So I ended up being flown out to LA to finish, to do the season. So, that's how it happened. To me, the best jobs I've ever had in this business, and I know you can get credit with this, Terrah, have come because of relationships.
Well, thank you, Carl, for joining us. This has been so wonderful, and we're going to let him get to some rest because he was up filming today.
Yes, I was.
Where can we find you, Carl, on social media?
Carl Gilliard. Just put that in. Facebook, Instagram, X, Carl Gilliard, no space, CarlGilliard. I also have an alter ego that opines on relationships and marriage called Twice Married Brother. That's also on Instagram and Facebook. And of course, 2 Degrees, the series. You can catch that on the Brick TV. And if you want to see some clips of that, you can go to YouTube, spell it out, TWO, 2 Degrees, the series on YouTube and on Instagram. You can kind of see some stills and clips from the show on both those places.
Okay, last words for the people out there.
Short last words. Stick with it. Do not be distracted or deterred. Don't give up.
All righty, everybody. Thank you for tuning in. This is Terrah Bennette Smith here. I want to thank Carl for joining us. And make sure you guys tune in and check out my series, The Right Turn. Check out Carl. And make sure you be bigger, badder, bolder, better. Because life is short and you don't want to miss any opportunities.